Hey guys, it's Jessie. Welcome back to my channel. This video is all the books that I read recently, meaning January and February 2021. Yeah. So I have read 7 books within 2 months. And 2 out of 5 of them I rated 5 out of 5 stars, and a lot I rated 3 stars out of 5 stars. So let's just get into it. So the first book that I read in January is The Girl in the Mirror by Rose Carlyle, and this is a mystery thriller, and oh my gosh, it's good. Twin sisters Iris and Summer are startlingly alike, but beyond what the eye can see lies a darkness that sets them apart. Cynical and insecure, Iris has long been envious of Summer's seemingly never-ending good fortune, including her perfect husband, Adam. Called to Thailand to help her sister sail the family yacht to the Seychelles, Iris nurtures her own secret hopes for what might happen on the journey, but unexpectedly finds herself alone in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and everything changes. When she makes it to land, Iris allows herself to be swept up by Adam, who assumed that she is Summer. Iris recklessly goes along with his mistake. Not only does she finally have the golden life she's always envied, with her sister gone, she's one step to the $100 million inheritance left by her manipulative father. All Iris has to do is be the first of his 6 remaining children to produce an heir. Iris's new life lurches between glamorous dream and paranoid nightmare. On the edge of being exposed, how far will she go to ensure no one discovers the truth? It is so good. Okay, so the writing is good, the dialogue is good, the character development is good. Everything about this is good, but one little thing about the ending that I wish we had a follow-up on, which is not a big deal. In the beginning, Iris just kind of like took me aback, like, well, you're kind of like cuckoo, you know, because she's like, oh, I wonder, like, because she's house-sitting her twin sister's house, and she goes through her sister's wardrobe, which who does it, and she goes through her sister's lingerie, and she's like, I wonder how Summer looks in this. Like, she's so beautiful, and like describing her body is kind of weird, and like kind of like ooh at times, but Iris seems to ease out of that creepy phase. I don't know. It's just kind of towards the more of the beginning. She is like that, but then towards the middle of the book, which you understand her strategy on how to go about what she needs to do and not get like thrown in prison or like be suspect of murder because her sister's gone missing. But like I was like cringing, like, because I'm like, please don't get caught, like, and it's just crazy. The ending, the twist, so crazy. And like she has like stepsisters because her dad remarried, and like they're trying to fight for the inheritance, and but like her stepsisters are like younger, so like they'd be like a teenage mom or whatever, and it's just like insane. But I really enjoyed this book, and this book I did give a 5 out of 5 stars. And this is a book I wish I did a 3-minute book review on, but sadly I didn't. But I do really like it. I do think it's a good, thrilling read. The next book is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco, and so pretty. And this is the author of the Jack the Ripper 5-book series? I don't know, I think, no, 4-book series. Jess, what is wrong with you? I've only read the first 2 books so far in the series, so I am behind. I am sorry. But this book, Amelia and her twin sister, another twin sisters. Okay. Victoria are Strahi, witches, who live secretly among humans, avoiding notice and persecution. One night, Victoria misses dinner service at the family's renowned Sicilian restaurant. Amelia soon finds the body of her beloved twin, desecrated beyond belief. Devastated, Amelia sets out to find her sister's killer and to seek vengeance at any cost, even if it means using dark magic that's been long forbidden. Then Amelia meets Wrath, one of the wicked princes of hell she has been warned against in tales since she was a child. Wrath claims to be on Amelia's side, tasked by his master with solving a series of women's murders on the island. But when it comes to the wicked, nothing is as it seems. This book, I feel like there's something missing to it. I don't know, something like of the ambience in the air of the story. I don't know, the writing, it was good, but like I said, there's something missing to the writing of it. Like, I noticed that with Stalking Jack the Ripper and Hunting Prince Dracula. To me, at least, there's something missing that's not exactly gripping me like I would want it to and other books do. But I do like it. I did like it. But it wasn't my favorite. And also, it's kind of like missing a tad hair of like romance, which is not a big deal. It doesn't need it. But to me, I like a little bit more romance in my books, but I noticed at Carrie Maniscalco that she doesn't really put romance in her books. If it is, it's very light and hinted. Amelia is just like so aggravating because like, I'm like, you know better than this. Don't be naive. And she does what she wants to do. And she's following in her sister's footsteps. And like, you're following in your sister's footsteps. She got killed. You don't think you're gonna get killed? And Wrath is so like, ugh, brooding and handsome and like, you don't know with him. You don't know if he is on your side or if he's not on your side. Or if he's on your side, but he gets what he wants out of it. And the scene where Nona, like, she gets injured, that like, oh my gosh. Because I really love Nona and like her attitude. Ugh, I love Nona. But the dialogue is good. The writing, there's something missing to it for me. The structure is good. I don't know, something about it just doesn't click with me. But that's just me. But I know a lot of people do love Carrie Maniscalco's books and don't have a problem with it. But I know this is going to be turned to a series. So yes. And the ending had me shooketh. Let me tell you. The ending, like, you don't see it coming, but you kind of like figured it's like the underlining issue. And it becomes that. But you don't want it to become that, but you knew it was going to become that. But yeah, it's like a mind game. Yeah. But I did end up giving this book a 3.5 stars out of 5. But I will pick up the rest of the series. Yeah. The next book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This book. Oh boy. Let me just tell you what it's about first. France, 1714. In a moment of desperation, a young woman named Adeline meets a dangerous stranger and makes a terrible mistake. As she realizes the limitations of her Faustian bargain, being able to live forever without being able to be remembered by anyone she sees, Addie chooses to free her small village, as everything she once held dear is torn away. But there are still dreams to be had and a life to live, and she is determined to find excitement and satisfaction in the wide, beckoning world, even if she will be doomed to be alone forever. Or not quite alone, as every year on her birthday, the alluring Luke comes to visit, checking to see if she's ready to give up her soul. Their darkly thrilling games stretch through the ages, seeing Addie witness history in flight to regain herself as she crosses oceans and tries on various lives. It will be 300 years before she stumbles into a hidden bookstore and discovers someone who can remember her name, and suddenly, everything changes. It sounds so good, but it fell flat for me. It is like a whopping 444 pages, and I feel like it did not need to be this long. It was dragged on too much, and it's about Addie's life, but it just, it takes us on like little rants, like here and there, like discuss, like she talks about like the scent of her dad's cologne, and then she goes on like a rant about like, oh, the cologne was made here in this time era, and like I always remember when my dad would take me here and I would go whiff his scent or whatever. I'm just like, wait, okay, I know this is about your life, but let's get back to the main story, okay? it just went off on tangent. I talk about this in my 3-minute book review, so I'll link that somewhere above because I don't want to go into any more tangent about it, so just watch that video. But this book, it could be better. I wasn't really a fan of it. I started out reading this physically, but then I had to turn to an audiobook because I could not keep my attention on the physical form. I had to be listening to it to keep attention to it. But the dialogue is good, the character development is good, the writing is amazing. It is so like creamy and like so like whimsical, and it's good. It's just the structure is also good. It's just too much fluff in between, and I ended up giving this like a 3.5 stars out of 5. Yeah. Okay, so the next book I read, I didn't read, I listened to on audiobook, and that is Felix Ever After by Casey Calendar. And this book, I don't have it physically with me, so I don't have the synopsis. So I got my handy dandy laptop here. So this book is about Felix's love has never been in love, and yes, he is painfully aware of the irony. He desperately wants to know what it's like and why it seems so easy for everyone but him to find someone. What's worse is that even though he is proud of his identity, Felix also secretly fears that he's one marginalization too many, black, queer, and transgender, to get his own happily ever after. When an anonymous student begins sending him transphobic messages after publicly posting Felix's dead name alongside images of him before he transitioned, Felix comes up with a plan for revenge. What he didn't count on, his catfish scenario landing him in a quasi-love triangle. But as he navigates his complicated feelings, Felix begins a journey of questioning and self-discovery that helps define his most important relationship: how he feels about himself. Yes. But yes, that is what Felix Ever After is about, and I freaking love this book. It's such a good coming-of-age story, and it really hits you hard. Like, you just feel what he's feeling, and like his home situation is good. It's good, and it's a lot better than what most like queer or transgender people face at home. And just navigating life and high school and like love and just finding his own identity and knowing that he knows he's not a girl, but he like feels something more. But it's such a good book. It's a good coming of age book. Period. It's good, great writing, good dialogue, character development is great, structure is great. I give this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I freaking loved it, and if you want to know more about my thoughts and opinions, go watch my 3-minute book review I just did on Felix Ever After by Casey Calendar. Yes. Okay, so now this is not in the order of how I read the books from January to February because I just went out of line. Let's do books that I listen to as audiobooks. Let's do those. Because I don't have them physically here with me, and I need my laptop for the synopsis. Because I'm prepared. Oh, I make myself laugh. Okay, so the next book I listened to the book American Street by E.B. Zaboy. And this book is about, on the corner of American Street and Joy Road, Fabiola Toussaint thought she would finally find un belle vie, a good life, basically. But after they leave Haiti, Fabiola's mother is detained by U.S. immigration, leaving Fabiola to navigate her loud American cousins, Chantel, Donna, and Princess. The grittiness of Detroit's West Side. A new school and a surprising romance all on her own. Just as she finds her footing in this strange new world, a dangerous proposition presents itself, and Fabiola soon realizes that freedom comes at a cost. Trapped at the crossroads of an impossible choice, will she pay the price for the American dream? So, this book, it was good, it was okay, it wasn't a mind-blowing read for me. It was a cute, fast-paced read, and we just like follow Fabiola and her trying to get her mom back from immigration, and like, because her mom's in immigration in New Jersey and she's in Detroit with her cousins, and her mom wanted a better life for her, and so they're moving to Detroit. And Fabiola is so like naive to what her family has gone through, or like what her cousins, her aunts has done for her to have the life that she had in Haiti and in Detroit. But they want, like, her mom, the cousins, and the aunt wanted to keep it that way for her to have a better life. And it just shows her struggling and like trying to get her mom back, and then like this person offers her like a chance for her to get her mom back, but like at what cost? Because like it involves like drug dealing, and like her cousin's boyfriend is the main perp, and then her love interest is best friends with her cousin's boyfriend, and it shows like the not great side of it, which is like struggling, but and also like with her faith, and she sees like this, I think it's like a Haitian god, I don't remember what the name is, but it's like a gateway keeper or something. Like she prays to him, like asking for her mom to have a safe journey to her, and like she thinks that it's the drunk guy on the corner of where they live, that's the Haitian god when he's a drunk. But like it's so like hard hitting through the book, but then it all wraps up nicely in the end, but it's also like devastating in the end. But to me, it was a good read. Like I said, it wasn't mind-blowing. The writing was good, the dialogue was good, the character development was good, and the structure was good. Everything was good. It's just another book. That's how I feel about it. But I know that this book has a lot of great reviews and a lot of people love it. It's just, I just don't really see the hype around it, but it is a good book. I ended up giving this book a 3 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read, or I guess we're not going in order anymore, so the next book is The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins, and this is a thriller mystery, more of a mystery than a thriller, but it's like a retelling of Jane Eyre? I don't know. Meet Jane, newly arrived to Birmingham, Alabama. Jane is a broke dog walker in Thornfield Estates, a gated community full of McMansions, shiny SUVs, and bored housewives, the kind of place where no one will notice if Jane lifts the discarded trinkets and jewelry off the side tables of her well-heeled clients, where no one will think to ask if Jane is even her real name. Meet Eddie, recently widowed. He has become Thorn Estate's most mysterious resident ever since his wife, Bea, drowned in a boating accident with her best friend. Their bodies lost to the deep. Jane can't help but see an opportunity in Eddie. Not only is he rich, brooding, and handsome, but he could also offer her the kind of protection she craves. Yet, as the two fall for each other, Jane is haunted by the legend of Bea, an ambitious, beautiful, and successful entrepreneur with a rags-to-riches origin story. How can she, plain Jane, ever measure up? And can Jane win Eddie's heart before her past or his catches up with her? Yes. I ended up doing a 3-minute book review on this book, so I'll link that somewhere in here in the description box down below. But this is a retelling on a book of Jane Eyre. I don't know, I'd never heard of that book until I picked this up, and I've never read it, obviously, but I never heard of it. But I did like the book. I thought the beginning of it was a little bit too rushed with the romance between Jane and Eddie, to where I didn't think it was believable. I didn't really, like, it caught me into reading it, but it like didn't catch me into, like, oh yeah, this is like romance. This is like so good. No, and I don't know, it just seemed too quick paced at the beginning, but then towards the middle ending, it was good. And Bia does have her own chapter, so we get to see into her side of what happened, but there's a lot of twists in this book. Yeah, the writing is okay to me. The dialogue is good. The structure is is meh. Character development is okay, but the ending really bothered me on how things, like, wrapped up. Like, I felt like it was missing a lot of things at the end that should have been put at the end. But yeah, if you want to know what I think more about my thoughts and opinions are on this book, check out my 3-minute book review. Yeah, I did enjoy this book. I did give this book, what did I give it? 3.5 stars out of 5. So the next and last book, When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, and this is a thriller mystery book. Sydney Green is Brooklyn born and raised, but her beloved neighborhood seems to change every time she blinks. Condos are sprouting like weeds, for sale signs are popping up overnight, and the neighbors she's known all her life are disappearing. To hold on to her community's past and present, Sydney channels her frustration into a walking tour and finds an unlikely and unwanted assistant in one of the new arrivals to the block, her neighbor, Theo. But Sydney and Theo's deep dive into history quickly becomes a dizzying descent into paranoia and fear. Their neighbors may not have moved to the suburbs after all, and the push to revitalize the community may be more deadly than advertised. When does coincidence become conspiracy? Where do people go when gentrification pushes them out? Can Sydney and Theo trust each other or themselves long enough to find out before they too disappear? This book, it's okay. This book reminds me a mix of The Purge and the movie Get Out. And I can see this book being turned into a movie by the director and producer and writer of Get Out. I can see this happening. But to me, it wasn't, like, really thrilling at all. I was kind of, like, unimpressed. But, and also at the beginning, Sydney really got on my nerves, because she complained a lot. She was very negative. I understand, like, the situation, but I just didn't really like her at the beginning. But when she met Theo, he kind of helped her be not so bleh, I guess you could say. But the dialogue is good, the writing is good, the structure is good. I just don't really think this was the book for me, but it was an okay read. It just wasn't for me, I feel like. Yeah. But I feel like I would have liked it better as a movie more than a book. And I know that's really taboo to say, but that's how I feel. And it's like a slow burn, slight thriller, mystery, if you want to call it that. But yeah, I started reading this as a physical book, but then I ended up listening to an audiobook because I just couldn't get through it physically reading it. I just kept putting it down, so I do recommend the audiobook. I ended up giving this book 2.5 stars out of 5. So these are, well, -2 because I read those in audiobook, are the books that I read from January to February 2021. Yes. Let me know in the comments down below if y'all have read any of these books, what you thought of it, or like what you read for January and February. Let me know. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos by me, and I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.